walkway until we came to two weathered, clapboard buildings. They were angled apart from each other and connected by a low, covered walkway. The main building in front of us housed the classrooms, plus a gym and a locker room. The smaller building off to our left held several administrative offices, a storeroom, and the school cafeteria. Emily lived in an apartment upstairs. Behind those structures was a spacious lawn with a playground and a soccer field. An enclosed swimming pool sat off to one side. On the other side, an incline sloped downward toward a picturesque pond where campers sailed toy boats and attempted, usually unsuccessfully, to catch frogs. The school property ended in a thick belt of woods that merged its rear boundary with that of its neighbors. The compact parking lot near the admin building was flanked by a row of leafy maple trees. I bypassed the drop-off area in front of the main structure and pulled the Volvo into a shaded parking space. As the boys got out of the car, I opened all the windows. Faith would have to wait here for a few minutes while I got Davy and Kevin situated. Since it was opening day, new counselors had been told to check in 30 minutes before campers were due to arrive. For now, the yard in front of the school was still mostly empty. I knew from past experience, however, that it would soon look like bedlam, with hordes of children trying to figure out where they were supposed to go. At the moment, there were only a few people in sight. A group of teenagers, all neatly dressed in khaki shorts and white polo shirts, were gathered near the entrance to the other building. Davy's fellow counselors, I presumed. A young woman with a rounded figure and an eager smile stood ready to assist us at the end of the sidewalk that connected the driveway to the school. I immediately recognized Amy's cheerful assistant, Mia. She had a clipboard in her hands and a pen tucked behind one ear. The bun on top of her head was starting to come loose, tendrils frizzing into curls in the summer heat. Mia had a name tag affixed to the front of her shirt, with her name written in large red letters. She'd used a purple marker to add a smiley face next to it. "Hello, Miss Travis. Hi, Kevin," she called in a bubbly voice as we approached. "Welcome to the July session of Graceland Summer Camp." "Thanks," I said. "We're delighted to be here." Mia turned to my older son. "You must be Davy. We're happy to have you as a new addition to the staff, and it's nice to finally meet you. Kevin talks about you all the time." "He does?" Davy sounded surprised, and maybe a little pleased. Mia nodded. "I do," Kevin confirmed, sounding quite pleased with himself. Mia looked down at her clipboard. "Davy, you'll be working with Courtney. The two of you will be in charge of our jellyfish group." She pointed toward the group of teens. "Go introduce yourself to your fellow counselors. See the guy with the red hair? That's Brian. He's in charge. He'll tell you everything you need to know." "Terrific." Davy turned and strode away, leaving us without even saying goodbye. I stared after him. I probably had a disgruntled look on my face because Mia giggled. "Teenagers," she said with a shrug. "What can you do?" Mia was less than a decade beyond her teenage years herself, but she had a point. If Davy'd had his way, I'd have dropped him and Kev off at the end of the driveway so he wouldn't have to be seen arriving at camp with his mother. "I'm going to be a sunfish," Kevin announced. "Yes, you are," Mia agreed. "Your counselors are Kayla and Luke, and several of your former classmates will be in the group with you." She looked up at me. "Why don't you take Kevin inside and get his things stashed in his locker? A few other kids have already arrived. They're hanging out in the music room with one of the older counselors. You can leave Kevin there." "Thanks, I'll do that," I said. "Is Emily here this morning? If she is, I'd like to say hello." Actually, I'd been surprised not to find Emily out here ready to greet the new arrivals. After all, Graceland was her school. "Of course." Mia's head bobbed a quick nod. "She's in her office now, but I expect her out here shortly. I'm sure she'll be happy to see you." Kevin and I entered the main building. We found his locker and placed his backpack and lunch inside. Then I walked him to the music room, where a teenage girl was leading half a dozen campers in a sing-along. Without missing a beat, she beckoned Kevin into the room and dismissed me with a cheery wave. Now that he was on familiar ground, Kevin's earlier trepidation had vanished. He went skipping in happily to join the others. In less than 10 minutes, I'd gotten both boys to their assigned places. That had to be some kind of record. I hurried back outside to retrieve Faith from the car.